So everybody, welcome. This is the So Wizard Star Wars fans that we're going to be doing. I'm Brian. I'm one of the podcasters for So Wizard, and I'm going to let everyone come down the row and kind of introduce themselves before we get into it. So first up, we have Aaron Leffler. Tell them who you are.
You just did.
I know, but what do you
You just did.
go?
Well, I'm an artist. I was previously licensed with Lucasfilms for their Star Wars merchandise and just a general nerd that for some reason Brian thought was a good idea to include in this.
I've done panels with you now for like 3 years. It's always entertaining.
Yeah, something unhinged will come out at some point.
Exactly. So next up,
Adam, So Wizard, and also I do Imperial Remnant, which is a Star Wars focused YouTube channel.
What's going on, everybody? My name's Joey. I am the host of So Wizard Podcast and the king of feedback, apparently, and ready to rock and roll.
perfect. And then my offshoot of So Wizard is actually something called Double Barrel Cinema, where
Look at you.
yeah, maybe we aren't too close. Let's just social distance a bit. Like it's 2020.
Hey, I have reasons for it.
I know. All right. That actually seems like it fixed a lot of problems. So we were just too close. As we go into it, the entire idea is to take a March Madness bracket and we're going to break down Star Wars. We said originally we were just going to do the movies and we tested that and then it was over in about 5 minutes. So we're hoping by having some of the TV shows in here, it can lead to a little bit more interesting debate. Adam and I actually did this with the MCU, the 37 movies that were at the time, or 35.
Took a good 4 hours.
It took a good Zack Snyder like movie.
Get comfortable.
But we have that available on YouTube, and we're hoping that this will be a good live one for you guys. Good entertainment. So we're going to just jump right into it. But like our disclaimer said for the people that came in later, this is strictly comedy. Like if we say something bad about your favorite Star Wars TV show, it's not that deep.
No, it is. You can totally go after Brian if they say
Yeah.
something weird.
Just Brian.
Just him.
Brian's fault.
He's the one who's got the training. No, none of the rest of us here.
So let's just start with the least controversial and just have The Last Jedi versus the Disney Tartakovsky Clone Wars, which I think I'm the person that made both of you watch this.
Oh, I love the Clone Wars.
So for those that don't know, this is the 2D Clone Wars, which were like 23-minute chapters and then 5 12-minute, which were originally like the lead into Revenge of the Sith before Ahsoka was a thing. And I know I made you watch it because I sent you the DVDs.
Well, I had watched it before that. I just didn't remember it.
So, I mean, like going into it, like,
That should tell you all you need to know.
and you're an animator.
I know. If somebody who works in animation is saying that they don't remember something, there's a good reason for it.
So this was not an inspiration for you.
No.
But I mean, like, I feel like everyone here has their own unique feedback with The Last Jedi. You either love it or hate it. There's literally no in between of it. So, I mean, let's just start with Joey because I feel like he's probably got the most to say.
Geez, that's a lot of pressure. Yeah, this is really tough choice. Not The Last Jedi. It's just the whatever the other pick is.
Adam.
I do want to give The Last Jedi credit for taking swings. Whether they hit for you or not is a whole other conversation, but they did try something new.
Mary Poppins, Princess Leia.
Yes, I will steel man it to that degree. There is stuff to like in it, even if it overall wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be. But in this lineup, I got to go with the Clone Wars.
Aaron.
I'm going to be the black sheep here.
We should have had odd numbers anyway.
Okay, so the thing is, I agree that there's stuff that people either could take it or leave it when it comes to The Last Jedi, but it also went outside the box and did things new. And that's kind of
Yes.
the whole thing with Star Wars, that you get introduced to new things without, like in Rebels, you get introduced to like the mystical side of the Force and everything. So
Mhm.
I kind of feel like it's got a little bit of an edge because it's not reverting to sentimentality of characters that you already know. It's kind of introducing new ideas.
Like
Star Wars.
casinos.
Right. So,
I mean, every universe is going to have some. People are always stupid with money, no matter what galaxy we're in. There's going to be a casino somewhere in another galaxy.
Yes.
all right. So, my 2 cents on it is this: people hate it because of what it did for Luke. Completely can understand that. There's a person in here that would rather like watch The Last Jedi burn than put it out. There are ambitious swings in there, like Adam said, but ultimately, like, there's a lot of conversation about the Force. There's Gray. There's just so much that was set up that led to nowhere. Who is Rey? She's nobody. Actually, no, she's not. Who's Snoke? Doesn't matter. He's dead. The holdout maneuver, just in of itself, visually gorgeous. Looks great on a home theater.
Breaks it.
But ultimately, not what I would do. So I'm
There
going
was,
with
there was not much traction given to that. Like they kept saying hold a maneuver the entire time. And then it's like 30 seconds and you're like, well, that was it.
that's it. And we can never do it again. Next matchup, we have Rebels versus Rogue One.
Can I please start this one?
You can start this one.
For the love of God, Rebels, please. Nobody ever gives it enough credit. But seriously, we got the father, the daughter.
That was Clone Wars.
They were first introduced in Clone.
Yeah, I know, but we got delved into it.
Yes, yes.
We got the mystic side of the Force. We got to
The
see
World Between Worlds.
World Between Worlds. We got to see. I mean, you guys wouldn't know anything about Thrawn more so unless it was for.
I read the books.
Not everybody reads the books.
What you say?
Screen only.
I don't know how to read, so
That's why we podcast.
So I love Rogue One. I think it's great, but it's also devastating at the same time that you realize that everyone's dead at the end of it.
Spoilers.
Dude, the movie's been out for years, okay? We all know that everyone's dead in it. But it has to be Rebels.
Adam?
This is a really tough matchup because I love Rogue One, especially post Andor. It's even more deep and meaningful. But I kind of want to lean with Rebels because it delves so much into the mysticism, and I love that stuff. And also Sabine's training as a Mandalorian, learning to counter the Jedi was really cool.
all right. So this is a really unpopular opinion, and
Oh, no.
I'm sorry to everyone in the audience, but I cannot stand the Clone Wars / Rebels style of animation.
I don't like the art style either, but the stories are
It
great.
looks like a Dollar Tree, like
jarring.
yeah, it looks like a DVD you'd buy at Dollar Tree or something, like a bad like rip off of like a Pixar movie or something. So I can't do it, man. I tried to watch these things so many times. My kids are named after Star Wars characters. Like, how could I not watch this? I keep telling this to myself. There's got to be something wrong with me. And I just watch it. I'm like, "Ugh, I can't watch this. So Rogue One all the way. I mean, everybody's gonna die eventually. So you know.
So I didn't get into Rebels until you forced me to. And I mean forced me to. So it's also interesting to see Rebels play out because now so much of it carries over to Ahsoka and how many things have been linked up with that. Whereas with Rogue One, like Rogue One's fantastic. Garth Edwards knocked it out of the park. The same scale, but at the same time, you're right. There's this ongoing sense of looming destiny and a dead end with Rogue One.
Destiny in Star Wars? Come on.
I know, man. Like Joseph.
No connection whatsoever.
I'm gonna have to go with Rebels on this one just because of what it's led to.
Sorry, Joey.
But Rogue One is easily a top contender for movies.
I will give you the pass and say that Count Dooku's character design might be one of the most god awful things I've ever seen in their
That's what I like.
animation.
Speaking of
Dang it.
Dooku, he's in our next matchup.
Oh God.
Doesn't
So
look like
we have the Bad Batch versus Tales of the Jedi. So two animation styles that Joey hates. He's just gonna bring
I would like to point out that the animation is purely meant for a children's show, so it takes a lot. Of
Well, what
time.
if
You don't do
Metallica?
it much.
I guess Adam and I are just more whimsical in this, so we don't hate it.
Oh, I don't hate it. I'm just saying it looks different because it takes a lot less time to do a lot less rendering when you do kids shows.
You got to crank out 20 minute
20
episodes.
Oh, yeah.
So, like it's interesting. Like Bad Batch is I have a very unique relationship with Bad Batch coming from being a vet and watching specifically the Crosshair focused episodes about for basically finding purpose, especially the later seasons. There's a lot that I can like about it. I hate what they did to the Commandos because Republic Commando was always my favorite thing growing up. But Tales of the Jedi is another like micro series. Like it's cool to see Dooku as a Jedi and Liam Neeson's kid voice young Qui-Gon. But ultimately, I think I watched it on Thanksgiving the year it came out. I haven't touched it since. Bad Batch to me, I think has more of a rewatchability to it. So I'm gonna go that way.
Yeah, I think I'm on Bad Batch too. 'Cause it's not that Tales of the Jedi is bad, but I feel like a lot of those smaller micro projects rely a little too much on like sentimentality to characters that have been seen multiple times instead of delving into new stories.
Right.
And Bad Batch does that really well because we all know like there's a whole bunch of different factions of the clones, but we don't really see much about the rest of them. So we're finding like a whole different pathway in the Star Wars universe over these clones that just didn't really fit in, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Bad Batch also. I like the Tales of series, what they stand for, but to me, one, the nostalgia, like you said, it totally makes sense. You can't just go into it blind and get something out of it. And I like that they fill in gaps, but on some of them, and we'll get into it when they come up in the ranking, those gaps weren't really gaps. So do we need to fill them in? And Bad Batch just does so good exploring that early era of the Empire.
Right, like
And
the
having-
days after.
Yeah, and having the fun stuff with Omega, so it's still a kid-friendly show, but also going deep with finding your purpose, like Crosshair, especially, like you said, is a perfect example of if I'm not a killer, who am I? And then even, as it progresses, he has to be totally broken down. And going to that last season, I didn't even want him to be redeemed. And when they did, it's like, okay, you got me. You won me over.
Like there are moments in season 1 where Crosshair does some pretty heinous stuff, and I'm like, yep,
Done with him. But then, yeah. Did you watch these?
I am staying.
that way.
What's unanimous, technically, so.
Solo versus Tales of the Underworld. At least you've seen one of these.
Yeah.
You can start this one.
What was the other one?
Solo,
Solo
Tales of
versus
the Underworld.
Tales of the Underworld.
Oh, okay. All right. So unpopular opinion.
Another one.
Another one. No, I actually really like Solo. Does anybody else like Solo?
Yes.
In a Star Wars story.
Hey.
There we go.
Hey, there you go. A couple people. Fantastic. I think it's good. I wish they did something to follow up on it. We had Darth Maul in the after credit scene, and Kira was going to take over the
I gotta
Black
say,
Sun.
Paul Bettany scared the crap out of me.
Yeah,
now.
he
It was
really
weird
good.
to see.
He played a really good villain. I'm
Yeah.
And like, especially
They could
when
have
they
used him more.
right, like it's always interesting because they brought him into I think a season of Bad Batch, like Dryden, as like a background character. And
Which was so weird because he had so much potential and there was so much storyline that they
Well,
could have
he
used with Crimson Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
For a movie that was a complete mess and had to be completely reshot, I thought it was pretty awesome for what it was. So
Oh,
I
that's
am
great.
taking Solo, a Star Wars story.
okay,
Yes.
Solo.
Also going with Solo for all those same reasons, but Woody Harrelson also crushes it. Jon Favreau as the voice of, I forget the character's name, but also very good. Great action pieces. And was it Alden?
Alden Ehrenreich.
Yes. Had an impossible task of replacing Harrison Ford. Impossible, and somehow pulled it off. Like, he did a really good job making it his own, but you could also see Harrison Ford's performance in there. And Tales of the Underworld is the one that I had a problem with. With Cad Bane's entire story, it was the most paint by numbers criminal story, and there was like no creativity to it. So half the series was just, why?
Also, if you read, I know this is gonna ruin it for Joey, but if you read Dark Disciple, I know that I used the R word. I'm sorry, but if you read Dark Disciple, it's actually a very much more fleshed out version of what they did partly with Asajj.
I got to be honest, I have to also piggyback off of Alden. Alden did an incredible job to the point where if the man himself, Harrison Ford, was literally championing him throughout the press tour, and he's like, no, he did an incredible job. He put his foot down so Chris Pratt couldn't play Indiana Jones, but he was fine with Alden playing. Like, that tells you all you need to know.
I think the best thing about that is because everyone was just like, oh, he's just gonna be doing a Harrison Ford impression, but
No, he found a
did
way
his
to
own
make
thing.
it his
Yeah.
own.
It was very
While keeping that same like Han Solo swagger,
right.
and
was-
also being like that calculating. Okay, I have to look sure of myself, even if I'm making up the plan on the fly.
I'm gonna be the only person. Shame on all of you, but let's not forget Donald Glover as Lando.
I was just
Oh, yeah.
Lover, it's like
Absolutely.
they picked the perfect man to play Lando
Yes.
as a young
absolutely.
man, and I'm like, I don't know. I think I gotta be honest.
In a-
Tales of the Underworld, I
But you didn't watch it?
did, but it's so blasé. I feel like it's forgettable. You don't remember much of what happens.
So we're in universal acclaim that Solo's going to move on. It was just, it had the rotten luck of being released in the summer. It's like summer 2018, nothing came out then. Infinity War, Detective Pikachu, Deadpool 2, John Wick,
Incredibles
and-
too.
and that came out after.
After,
But like literally the
it was
month of
around
May,
the same time.
the month of May was literally like Infinity
Stacked.
War, and then Detective Pikachu, John Wick 3, and then Deadpool, and then
Also in pretty close proximity to The Last Jedi.
right.
Now, the fact that they had to
we
pay
were just like we had only had like 5 months in between Last Jedi and
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah,
some
that's
of them were
enough
not.
to fail.
The unfortunate thing is they're not going to do more of those individual story thing. Maybe they use Starfighter will bring it back, but I'll believe that movie's real when it's playing in theaters.
Right.
The amount of times they've already changed what movies are
Yeah,
coming out,
exactly.
I'm like,
I don't
I
any
need to see
credit to it.
behind the scenes shots of Ryan Gosling in a Star Wars getup before I believe it's actually going to be a thing.
And with AI, it's hard to tell. All right, next matchup, we have The Last Tales, thank God. And Ahsoka. Ahsoka's moving on.
What was the other choice? It's so
Tales of the Empire, the second one. So that was where they had the Ferris Offrey, and I forget the other story. It was about the Inquisitors, but it's against Ahsoka. And Ahsoka to me is probably some of the best TV that Star Wars has done.
That's because you love Shinhani.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I know you do. That's why you're saying that.
No, I'm
He just
genuinely-
wants to have more screen time. That's exactly why. He just wants more Ahsoka so he can see Shin.
And then he wants more Ahsoka so he can see more.
Everybody. I love the Ahsoka. I love getting into the fantasy side, like the really deep fantasy side of everything. I'm really excited for where it's going with Balin on the hand of one of the Mortis gods going toward that. A shame what happened to the actor, but Rory's going to do a great job stepping in. I really like everything about it except the lightsaber choreography with the zombies was a time where they could have just totally let loose and they didn't.
Right. But I mean, like the episode that I always go back to, actually shit isn't even in.
Wow, that's actually a surprise.
Well, it's because they did the Anakin flashbacks.
Those were also really good.
Yeah, I think that's what's
come back and see the Clone Wars in live
Yeah.
action, and then they had like Mariana Green Black.
That's really actually, I think, what sold it for me
Yeah.
because we see Ahsoka as a Padawan. And then there's like a huge time jump where
Mhm.
you're seeing her as an adult and not really understanding, okay, she had some time with Anakin, but not like a whole bunch. So why is she so prolific as a Jedi?
Mm.
So seeing those little flashbacks in the World Between Worlds where you're seeing bits of his training come through, and then the last lesson that he gives her, it's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
now that's making so much more sense.
You
Like
see a
that-
lot of what was inscribed in her come out as an adult.
To go on a tangent too, though, she also was resurrected by the daughter, so she has like God in her of the Force. So there's a lot to that, but that's a total different tangent going down a rabbit hole. Joey, you didn't get to.
Oh, what?
So yeah, Ahsoka wins. Next one.
All right, yeah. I mean, I'll take Ahsoka. I like Sabine in that, and I mean, I wish Ahsoka did more than stand around and frown for the whole episodes. But
I mean, you can only do so much with what you're given. Yeah, you're gonna have so much fun with this one because
Right.
it's like two of the least controversial things that Star Wars has done: Kenobi versus the Acolyte.
Want to start?
you know what? I don't like.
The fact that somebody out there already figured just said everything you need to know.
I don't like either of those shows, but I will take the Acolyte because at least knowing the Acolyte, two things about Kenobi that drive me insane. When he was sneaking the girl off the Imperial ship by hiding her up to his jacket, and he's in disguise. Nobody should know that Obi-Wan Kenobi is alive because he's hiding Luke Skywalker. Oh my God! So his plan is to go to this other planet, completely dressed exactly the same as he has been since New Hope, and just walk around. That's Obi-Wan. So I'm good. I'll take the Acolyte.
I was gonna say Adam actually did a really, really in-depth video on the Acolyte on Imperial Remnant, and I think it was probably the most unbiased thing because that's the wonderful thing about YouTube. If you have a microphone, you can have an opinion, for better or for worse. But I was gonna say there's actually so much that the Acolyte does well that gets drowned out because of the vocal minority on certain things. But I mean, like the sets, the costume design. Everything's fantastic, and you can tell that people are putting their absolute heart and soul into it. The choreography is great. Manny, who's downstairs, so I'm not saying this unbiasedly, is phenomenal in the role, but something about the scripts just doesn't really work on a fundamental level, and that's why I think they shouldn't take another pass on it. Like, I love places that will tell stories that take bold swings, even if it's a hit or a miss, he's took a swing at it, but at the same time, Kenobi, it's bloated. It should have been a movie. Solo failed. They're like, they want TV shows now. They want that streaming access, so let's make a 2-hour movie as a 6-hour TV show and we'll bloat it so badly. When Hayden and Ewan are together, it's fantastic. But when they're not, when are they coming back together again?
You're going to be surprised at my answer to this.
You're going to go Kenobi.
I'm not.
Oh, Acolyte's going to win
I know. Everybody
this round. not
Everybody
this
thinks
round.
I'm going to say Kenobi, but the thing with Kenobi is that it also kind of contradicts itself at certain points with the original story because initially Obi hasn't seen Anakin
As
in
Vader.
all that time as Vader until that final one-on-one in A New Hope. So it's kind of weird that they decided to like retcon that in a way.
It can technically still work because it was the whole line of like, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I just was the last time of him seeing his friend and realizing he became the
So like,
monster.
it kind of made sense, but it kind of didn't. I felt like they just did that as kind of more of a fan service kind of thing, which like, again, I get it. But I feel that Acolyte took a lot more risks and tried new stuff that is kind of what makes Star Wars so good when it tries something new. Because there's parts of Star Wars where it's like, yeah, of course, everybody's going to love the nostalgia factor. But at the same point, how do you continue a story if you just stick with the same details over and over?
Right.
Over. So, like, obviously, they both have their issues, I feel.
Yeah.
But also the diversity that we were getting in Acolyte That's like the first time you're seeing a majority led cast where it's not just, oh, look, there's only white people in space. Like, no.
So let's get move on to the next round.
Yeah, I would be the odd man out on that one. I would vote Kenobi, but
See, if I said Kenobi, though, you would tell me that I'm biased.
Probably, but
well, everything Obi-Wan and Anakin I loved. I even liked the fan service moment at the end. I fell for it. That final fight on the moon planet, I loved it.
I loved it, but I just feel like Acolyte kind of did a little bit more.
I do agree with you on it took swings and it gave us something different. And as much as I love, say Andor, for example, I like that there was aliens and things like that in the Acolyte. I liked the look of it. I loved Chimera as the villain. He was really cool. But none of the character decisions made sense.
Right.
There weren't really characters as much as someone delivered a line of dialogue to get you to the next scene. And something we kind of talked about, we did a huge breakdown that's like 2.5 hours on my channel. And something that came up over and over was the more scenes you have of people walking and explaining what's happening rather than doing the thing, the worse the project is.
that
from
makes
the West Wing in the studio.
Yeah. So if Obi-Wan was boiled down to like a tight 90 minutes, maybe hour 45 of just the two of them, I'd be all for it.
There are phenomenal fan edits of Kenobi that turn it into a movie, and it plays so much better.
Yeah.
I'd like to also throw in the fact here, though, that the last 2 episodes of Acolyte were probably the best one because it was written by somebody who actually understood
Right.
how to write something.
Lore and Star Wars.
Yeah,
and
she was
character
originally a
development.
writer on Star Trek, so like she's got a background of understanding how to
All right.
like flush those out.
We could be on this one all day.
I'm putting my moderator shirt on. We're gonna be the next round. So, Revenge of the Sith versus Mando. This is actually, I think, going to be an intense one.
This is tough, yeah.
What is it?
Mando
Revenge of the Sith or the Mandalorian? All seasons of Mandalorian?
All the Mandalorian.
How dare
So
you.
TV shows are lumped together. So if it's the Clone Wars, it is all 7 seasons. I'm not doing 7 posters. You can do that
Wow.
your own bracket.
How dare you?
That's tough, but I'm gonna go with Revenge of the Sith.
I am too.
I was gonna say Revenge of the Sith too. I love Mando,
Well, I
but
guess you're out, Adam. Doesn't matter what you pick now.
No, I would have picked Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah,
the
that was
core
fast.
Star Wars movies are the core Star Wars movies, but I do want to give a lot of props to The Mandalorian, also being the first live-action Star Wars TV show and absolutely knocking it out.
Oh,
Well,
man,
that's
man,
the way
I
that-
would not have Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a majority of the reason that most people have Disney Plus is because the way that they did it is set up so beautifully.
And like,
But Revenge of the Sith is like a cult classic now. Like,
no, it's just like,
when somebody says Star Wars, that's probably like one of the first ones that's going to come up in
It is
because
one
that's
more,
why
yeah.
it's like
You
I mean,
also need it to get
there's
the
a
rest of
reason
it.
that Ewan and Hayden are downstairs because out of the 3 of them,
Mhm.
that's probably the most popular things
Yeah,
out of the 3 sequels.
I was gonna say we are gonna have to a little bit rapid fire the next couple.
Go.
Okay.
All right, so we have Skeleton 2 versus Empire.
Ah, that's not even fair.
That's not, yeah, that's
I mean,
fair.
obviously it's Empire, but
Yeah.
Skeleton Crew was awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, did anybody watch Skeleton Crew out there?
We love skeletons.
Did you guys like Skeleton?
But the Goonies in space. Like, if you don't like that, I don't know what we really want from life.
The
You haven't
kids
watched it,
knocked
give
it
it a
out of the
chance.
park.
I would arguably take the kids in Skeleton Crew over the kids in Stranger Things because they all now can drink. So
Right. They don't look like they're 37 right now either. So
Yeah, it's weird when you have people who are like 24 playing somebody who's supposed to be like 14, 15.
So as we
Yeah.
go to the
Like,
second,
why do you have a goatee already? This is weird.
so as we go to the faster rounds, this will go a little bit quicker, which will also help us out. So we have Clone Wars versus Rebels.
Oh, what?
The 2D Clone
The
Wars.
2D clone.
Oh, okay. 2D Clone Wars, I will take.
Adam, Rebels.
Rebels.
2D Clone Wars is fun, but there's no lore.
I'm
They're
just gonna
fun.
say 2D Clone Wars, so it's a tie. So you in the cosplay? No, the cosplay. Yeah. Hi. How are you? Which would you pick? Okay,
That's Rebels.
that's how we're in the
Finally.
tie. Bad Batch versus Solo.
Oh, crap.
Solo.
Oh, Bad Batch just for the lore.
Bad Batch, just because we already know a lot about Han to begin with.
I didn't believe that Han's jacket, so Bad Batch it is.
Sorry, Joey.
Damn.
It's good. It's just not like.
Ahsoka versus Acolyte.
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka.
That's so good.
That's so good.
Shin.
That's
Oh,
really
wow.
why he wanted to do this. He
Crap.
wanted to put Shin as the winner.
Revenge of the Sith versus
Not
Empire.
even a movie.
Oh, man.
Empire. Just move Empire to the winning.
Yeah, Empire won, but who's second place?
We're playing for second place, right?
I was gonna say, yeah, I gotta give it to Empire, but Ruben,
Are you-
fantastic?
Are you disagreeing?
Yeah, I was gonna get to so.
But it's 3-1, and that's not how numbers work.
I know.
I think that comes down to generational.
Yeah.
Rebels versus Bad Batch.
That's fair.
You're breaking my heart right now.
Are you rescinding again?
Rebels is fine, I guess.
Who's Rebels and Bad Batch?
Rebels and Bad Batch.
Rebels.
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 This is surprising. We're actually
See, it's the end of the line. That's how you say. So it's Empire and it's so good. They got to go to Empire.
Oh, yeah. That's
yeah.
wait. That's the end of the line.
I mean, for this brand, no,
Oh,
for
okay.
so good at the end of the line.
I was confused. Oh,
We have another entire half of the fifth one.
that's why we got to speed up. All right.
Rebels versus Empire.
As much as I hate to say it, it's got to be Empire.
It's got to be Empire.
It's gonna be Empire. All right, Clone Wars, the entire all 7 seasons, and the movie over Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi, because that was my first ever Star Wars movie. My dad showed me at 3 years old.
That was a response for him to show you how to order.
So
Yes, but he also called me his little Ewok.
Okay.
From
So the
a
Ewok
child.
grabs you
So,
in.
yeah, so
it's the Ewok factor.
It's got to be Return of the Jedi, but I do love the Clone Wars.
I was gonna say,
It's
I
not
have a lot of
good
Clone Wars
for
very
Teddy.
quickly, but 100% it's gotta be Return of the Jedi.
who does not love a good murder teddy bear?
Star Wars original recipe versus Rise of Skywalker. Just gonna go fast. It's
Star Wars.
I don't think you need to even ask that one. I think
Star Wars.
Rise of Skywalker. No, I'm kidding.
I was going to
Star
say,
Wars,
I'm probably picking that one. And that's a surprise because you'd think I would.
Visions versus Book of Boba Fett.
What?
Visions.
The anime one or Book of Boba Fett. You can't say anything about the animation style because Studio Ghibli did.
Well, I mean,
Visions.
the problem with Visions, it's an anthology, so some of them are awesome and some of them aren't, but they also don't feature Boba Fett walking around and talking to people. For
If you had to
8
delete-
episodes.
If you told me that I would not like a Robert Rodriguez directed Boba Fett series, I would tell you goddamn high.
Yeah, I don't.
Can I also
What world?
throw something in there?
Go.
It just felt like Mando 1.5. It didn't even
It was
like,
literally
exposed
original.
around all
Like,
that.
2 of your 6 episodes are bridging the gap to go into
It just
it
felt like they were making it just so that way people had like a filler in between Mando seasons, and I'm like, this is really dumb. That should at least like goes and like explores.
right. They're getting
different-
like the duel for Visions is fantastic.
Yeah,
I did like that scooter gang, though.
That's Robert Rodriguez thing, man. But I got to give it to Visions over Book of Boba Fett as much as I was hoping for that. That's not the one that got affected by Solo. It was going to be a movie, but it was going to be Josh Trank who made that fantastic movie, and then he had like a mental breakdown, and Disney's like, "You're all set." So Visions.
Yeah, I would have said Book of Boba Fett just to put my opinion out there, but
But you said, but I think
I think it gets a bad rap. I had a lot of fun with it. I do agree with your complaints fully. I understand it's very flawed.
The first few episodes of him with the Tusken.
Those are very in the fight.
yeah, but it's with Tuskens and Avatar stuff. That's fantastic.
Seeing the whole entire thing of him learning their culture,
Yeah,
and
great.
language and everything was so beautiful. And then they go within the last 2 episodes and wreck it all. And I'm like, seriously, you guys did so good, and then
And you dropped it.
It just made me a 14-year-old again. It was fun. So,
I don't want to.
but I also like Visions as a vehicle. I don't want it to go away.
Right. All right. So Attack on Clones versus Force Awakens.
What was the first one?
Attack on Clones.
Oh, Force Awakens.
Force
yeah,
Awakens.
Force Awakens a minute.
Yeah, same.
Easily the weakest of the prequels. It has some really good moments in it, but ultimately, Force Awakens was a Star Wars movie that made us happy to like Star Wars again. Andor versus Phantom Menace. This is.
How dare you? What the heck?
The bracket gets tough.
So I have an unpopular opinion. I hate Andor.
You're not coming back.
I think it's the most boring thing on earth. I call it Ant Snore. And if I watched that when I was a kid, I probably wouldn't like Star Wars.
That's the thing. It's definitely a slow burn, or I always feel weird when I say it's adult oriented because it makes me feel like I'm watching something dirty. But at the same time, like it's definitely there's no Jedi, there's no spinning sabers, there's no cute sellable toys.
There's no
Yeah.
whimsy. It's
Yeah.
very
It's
adult,
a
very
very
serious.
I honestly feel like it's good though.
It's
It's
great.
It's like I'm
fantastic.
being able to see the non-Jedi side
Yeah.
of what goes on during this because I think we focus so much on the Jedi that we forget that the Resistance isn't all just
Which is a
Jedi.
shame because you say that all the time that you want non-Jedi content. They give it to you and you're like,
Yeah,
we
but
don't want that.
not boring. Not
Every
just like,
single time we've had a season of Andor come out, it's very like on par for the times that we live in.
Mhm.
So like seeing Star Wars tackle certain topics.
Star Wars has always been topical.
No, but I'm saying like more so.
Oh,
like this
100%.
last season, like seeing them tackle that so good.
Also, this last season, we got a Star Wars movie every week for a month. I'm all for
Oh,
that.
that's the kind of releases that I want. But I mean, like, I'm not going to say bad things about Phantom Menace.
No, not at all.
Already done that. I mean,
They were
I'm getting
really
outvoted here, so
I was 9 when Phantom Menace came out, and you weren't born, so
How dare
That's
you.
the perfect age for Phantom Menace.
right. I would say I got everything I wanted. I got racing. I got
Well, that's the thing.
I mean, Duel of the Fates alone should win a bracket, but
I don't even care about midichlorians or talking about tax disputes with General Zod. Like all of it can have its purpose and its place, but really, it's just a great starting vehicle for Palpatine.
Well, that's the
just
whole
more
thing too
pod
with this,
racing,
that-
less talking. I'm going
that
Phantom
is
So you're
Menace.
going Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I'm going Andor.
I'm going Andor. I just have one point to make.
I also want another
Star
point.
Wars also starts out as made for kids.
Mhm.
So, like, yeah, of course it's going to be.
You're gonna hate this one.
Oh my God.
Star Wars versus Return of the Jedi.
No.
Ah.
Oh,
I gotta give it. I'm in the minority. I just like Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
Brian,
I-
don't
welcome.
make me throw this mic at your
It's
head.
not because of the Ewoks. It's because it's two different movies. You basically have an epilogue to Empire because you have to go get Han back, and then you completely, totally shift, and then you go deal with everything that comes after.
That's a plus.
I just watching movies. I don't want to be a continuation of a coherent story. And I mean, it's a great movie, but
Hey, we got the Ewok Night Hunt from that though.
I do love Night Hunt with Ewoks.
It's like 3 or 4 movies, really, but there's so much greatness to it. That being said, I would give it to a New Hope.
I have to give it to the original because I think without it, there wouldn't be anything else.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with New Hope too, even though I love Return of the Jedi, even though it was my first one.
Be different, Joey.
I'd go for Return of the Jedi because it's awesome. And I remember being a little kid, my grandmother took me to see it, and I was so excited. I mean, I'm really young and hip and cool, but I saw it first run in the movie theater, and I just remember my grandmother took me, and I was so pumped, like, yes. And I'm like jumping out of my seat. She probably fell asleep 15 minutes into the movie.
My grandma would not take my dad. She's like, it says war in the name of So my dad didn't want to eat it. He's like, all right, I'm gonna show this to you. Great.
Hell yeah. Well,
My mom was
take
like,
a-
you have made a monster.
That's the legend of it. I don't know if who else has his parents out there, but if you show your kid Star Wars early, they won't have money for drugs.
I gotta be honest too. Mark Hamill was actually very surprised about that. And he's like, you weren't scared of it? I'm like, no, why? And he goes, because in Sweden they put a warning in the front of it because the Ewoks.
Ugh.
I'm like,
Because the Ewoks.
what? He goes, yeah, because they hog died. I'm like, oh,
So
well, I wasn't scared of them. They were just cute bears to me.
Visions versus Force Awakens.
Oh, Force Awakens. Come on now.
Force Awakens.
I love Force
I'm a
Awakens.
good friend and say Visions
Just
because
always, it's like you. We just
She's the artist.
Visions explore different facets of the Force where it feels like there were times that Force Awakens was just mirroring A New Hope.
It's half a remake, sure.
So I think it's great when Star Wars.
Bye, tell Hayden and you and I said hi.
I think it's great when Star Wars actually tries something a little out of the box and does something kind of unique. And we got to see a lot of cool different animation styles with it. And they're not just from animation studios here, they're from all over. So it's
Yeah,
kinda
that's
neat
cool too.
to see those.
But as the new owners of Lucasfilm's first outing, Force Awakens was a very smart tactical choice. And I just followed up on it.
It was safe. It was a safe.
Yes.
I feel like I've been spoiled in the sense that I've got to see maybe Joey and Adam a little bit more because they're a little bit older than me, but I've gotten to witness Star Wars end twice. And I got to, like 2005, like the world was on fire, excited for Revenge of the Sith. And then we thought, like, all right, girl, that's it. We have the TV show now, and then we'll have like books and stuff like that. And then Disney bought it, and they said episodes 7, 8, 9 are coming. And the hype was like nothing I'd seen because I was too young to remember Phantom Menace hype. But I remember everything. I remember the teaser that came out on Thanksgiving or Black Friday 2014 that showed like 6 random clips, and then you just had Kylo Ren light up the saber for the first time, and the internet exploded. Whether it be like cross cards don't work that way, or whether it be like this just looks incredible. I would give it to Force Awakens, but I do like the swings that Vision takes. But like we said with Last Jedi, just because you swing doesn't mean you always look at that. There's like more.
No, there are some
Yeah.
that are good, and then there's some that are like, okay, I could have done without this. one.
Visions is also starting to lean a little too anime heavy for me. And I know we're at a comic convention that is an unpopular
The
opinion,
anime
but
was too anime.
what?
The anime show was too anime.
Well, it's animation. It's not all anime. We can move on. I just feel everyone hating me now.
I was going to say, like, Adam believes that.
We're all shaking our heads at you, right?
I know, it's fine.
Anime is an important part of our culture.
So Star Wars original recipe or Star Wars the Force, the original story or the one that's told it 30 years later?
Original. Come on.
Original.
Original.
Maybe I'm gonna say Force Awakens.
You're not gonna-
I was gonna say, Brian,
You are.
really?
You can. You're still outvoted.
Andor versus Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Star Wars. I mean, the Andor is
No,
great.
No
but-
ad snore.
All right, we're gonna have to have an actual discussion on this one because it's Star Wars versus the Empire Strikes Back for the Dark
Come
Side.
on.
You knew it was gonna be this. You knew it was either going to be this.
You criticized it.
Yeah, and at the same time, like if Revenge of the Sith already is out, it was either going to be Revenge of the Sith and Empire or Empire and Star Wars.
It wasn't bad either way.
Right? Well, say your piece.
I'm gonna go with Empire Strikes Back
Why?
because we see a lot more development with Luke, and I think it's unique to be able to see part of his training. And whereas we don't really get to see that with Rey, we don't really see her training,
She's just good.
and that's why a lot of people get bugged by it. I love Rey. Rey's my girl. Anybody who knows me knows that I love Rey. That is my girl. But you don't really see her have that struggle almost. So to see Luke go through that struggle, to see Luke learn these things that he's gonna have fun with later on down the road. I honestly feel like that's
I just recently saw the interview that Mark did where he told his original pitch to Ryan about why Luke was where he was at for Last Jedi, and it was so much darker than what we got.
I think sometimes though you gotta have to have that like dark.
Oh, I'm fine with it. Like I'm gonna go with Empire because Empire is one of the best sequels of all time. I'm gonna go with
It's very rare that a sequel can do as good, if not better.
like I think when people look at the Rushmore of movie sequels, like Empire, Dark Knight, Aliens, T2 is always in the
Well, I
conversation.
think that's why Empire is always so notorious for like people are gonna remember it. A lot of the merchandising and everything for those is usually geared towards Empire because of the fact.
I feel like everyone's first plot twist in here was probably that Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's dad.
I mean, like
And
that's
if you
one of the
didn't
most
know that, you're the
quotable.
wrong dad.
That's one of the most quotable, iconic movie lines
Yeah.
But they always say it wrong.
every single time, and it drives me bonkers.
Adam.
I mean, it's got to be Empire, but I really want to give A New Hope credit for being. If A New Hope was the only Star Wars ever made, you can still watch it and enjoy it, and you can't say that about really any of the other ones because you need that one to get everywhere else. But objectively, Empire is the better paced, better produced, better pretty much everything movie.
Also, we got Binary Sunsets from that one.
That's my
It's one of the greatest cinematic scenes of all time.
That is true, but I have to go with Empire. Again, I mean, I'm really hip and young and cool, but it was the first movie I ever saw in the movie theater in like 1980, and I've been chasing that dragon ever since. And much like Marky Post in a Lifetime movie about 20 years ago, but
Good reference.
yeah.
I'm not ready for that one.
But yeah, you know, to me as a really young kid, and some of you aren't even going to be able to conceptualize this, but there was no internet. There was just magazines and newspapers, and you had 3 years in between movies to be like, what did I just watch? All the good guys just lost every single time they went up against the bad guys in this. And you don't know if Han Solo was alive or dead, what was going to happen. And it's amazing.
Harrison Ford.
It's amazing. And it just sets you up for life because that's what life is, a series of down endings. So.
Well, it also was a very
I think what you're doing.
kind of thing.
Yeah, that's why.
It was very pivotal because that was one of the first movies that you got where it was like you didn't know. It was like the good guys didn't win the day.
Right.
What's going to happen here?
It really felt like there was stakes. Yeah. Is Luke going to fall to the dark side?
Because usually movies at that point were just a one-off.
I
I think, okay, we're done.
I think the one thing that I love about Empire is it fleshed out the world so much more in the sense of like it's great to see the rebels lose because you're using the protagonists are going to win. They blow up the Death Star. It comes from that. But it's always nice to see the ramifications, the ripples of that. And then like you were introduced to bounty hunters. That's how we got Boba Fett. You were introduced to Yoda, greater concepts of the Force.
And we got the greatest parody of all time, Seagull Stuff
Single
It
stop
Down.
now. That's right. I will definitely say that Empire is going to take this bracket, but I don't think that enough love can be given to the original Star Wars. I think for so many people, at least in this room, Star Wars has been basically, I don't know what people do in abroad. It's your gateway drug. And larger fantasy and science fiction, whether it be not movies like Joey, like I saw Empire.
I mean, yeah, I might be in shape. I might, have a lot of ladies I'm dating if I didn't see Star Wars so young, but
I mean, who knows what the world will hold? But
That's right. Who knows?
I saw Empire first at the YMCA when I was growing up in Texas, and I genuinely like fell in love, and like you, I've been chasing that dragon since. And now we talk about my TV, my podcast where I have like 1,600 movies that my wife hates, and it's just trying to figure out the same thing of playing that for the first time. But we have people here, so like, who would have actually voted Star Wars over Empire? I'm genuinely curious.
Oh, in the back.
You are a brave soul, and I love this. Thank you for being honest.
Everybody else on a big Empire. Look, you don't know.
Oh, we got a 50-50 then.
It's they're very
Yes,
sure.
true.
That's fair.
Something else I like about Empire in hindsight is the whole argument of like Star Wars is for kids. No, Star Wars is kid friendly, but also adults can like it. Obviously, that's where we fall, being adults. But Empire showed that you can do a movie friendly for kids, geared towards kids, and have it tackle serious subjects at the same time and have the kids feel a little bit uneasy without scaring the crap out of them and delivering a great story. And I think it's something that they could take into the modern era where it doesn't either have to be total nonsense camp or the most serious thing you've ever seen.
I mean, there's a
interesting,
reason
'cause I
why
know
the Block Hunt was just left to the video game.
I
I'm
genuinely
pretty sure that would scare the crap out of a kid if they saw that.
Probably.
There's a reason that they have it set to paint it black in any meme about that video game. So like,
the Battlefront thing. Yeah. Well, I was gonna say the one thing I'll also say about Star Wars, and I was gonna say like I don't want to come off as this person who's Joey's older than me, but like kids, like I remember I was telling you when we left Infinity War opening night and you had the ending. I was like, this is this generation Empire Strikes Back. They're just spoiled in the sense that they like to wait a year to the conclusion. Like when Empire ended, like people had no idea what was going on until 1982.
I will say the difference from that, there was no one, no matter how young you were, had any inclination that none of those characters were.
No,
Yeah, yeah,
I
that's what I was
remember
gonna say.
Infinity War, like there were kids at my theater crying during Infinity War, and I was like, wow, like to kill Sebastian Stan, like maybe his contract. So then they killed Chadwick Boseman. I'm like, now they're coming back. He just made a
I
billion
gotta be
dollars.
honest, though, you left a very important thing out of this bracket.
What did I leave?
The new gateway drug for the kids. You forgot Gnomes.
Oh man, there's only so many that
The
you
Young
can do.
Jedi Adventures. I have to be the one who has to. I got labeled as the leader of the Nubs cult at this point, which I think is really, really funny. But when you have a blue teddy bear in space, who's not going to love that? That's adorable.
That is the High Republic's big hope at finding a new audience too, because the Acolyte didn't do that.
I think that that's gonna be like,
Wonderfully, like the kids absolutely adore it. So I'm like, they've got that as their gateway drug now.
and that's the interesting thing too is like we had like Mando and Andor in here. They did Rebels did well, but like I think to a degree the future is an episodic storytelling. But at the same time, if they oversaturate their market, that's where you're going to start. Like we had so many. I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
Well, some stories are better geared toward a series, like we talked about, and others, like the Obi-Wan series, should have been a movie. So if you just put the right story in the right medium, it can all succeed.
That's the
And now you
curiosity
have
of that
Mando that's
making.
branching over two movies.
That's what I was gonna say. That's the curiosity of making that into a movie. I don't know how well that's going to translate because I feel like Mando does well as an episodic
Yeah.
storytelling.
I'm excited for it. I'm going to see it, but I kind of wish they just made Mando season 4 and
Yeah.
picked
Well,
a different movie.
originally the plan was they were going to do 4 episodes of season 4, and then like 5 and 6 were going to be the movie.
Disney and their budgeting is very, very weird.
All I know
Yeah.
is that the dude from The Bear is voicing Rana, and Rana now is like a body melted gladiator because I saw the Link trailer.
Yeah, I wonder where we had
But I think that's it.
I'm not even gonna ask any questions about that. That sounds
That sounds like a Disney
very
decision.
yeah, that sounds like a Disney movie.
That sounds like a Disney decision. But I just honestly, everybody, thank you for coming out. If you have anything that you would want to contribute to it,
You did miss that movie in the lineup as the 3D animated Clone Wars movie.
So
Right.
when we
What the?
when we just came into it, when we were just doing the movies, I threw the Clone Wars movie in because there were only 11 theatrically released live action Star Wars movies. And then when we mapped it out, like we just talked about the movies, we would have been done in like 10 minutes. So
Empire.
Empire. Yeah.
So when we did the movies, I didn't want to find a set. It was going to be weird to have Clone Wars in here 3 times, so the movie encapsulated all of the show. I got it knocked out first round anyway.
Yeah, you could give it credit for leading to the series, and that's kind of the end.
It was 3 episodes of the show that they edited together.
They basically introduced
Ahsoka.
one of the greatest characters that
Yeah.
has been in
And
Star Wars, and that was
that's
like,
what I give all of British Dave Filoni for us because Ahsoka came in and she was hated. Like the internet was not a nice place. And the thing about it too is Dave Filoni knew that she was going to be hated. And the entire point was to watch her grow and develop and become.
well, I think that's what George Lucas saw in him anyways, too, because he was like the one mentoring him.
Well, yeah, Filoni, I was gonna say, but I don't think that Dave Filoni was just like, George, should I do this? It's like that scene from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back where Gus Van Sant's Kevin, what sure, dude, you do whatever you want.
Yeah,
All right. Well, thank everybody for coming in. That was fun.
I hope.
Yeah.
It's somehow
Fun
very
for us.
controversial.
I mean,
I
no
thought it
one, no
was
one's
more.
thrown anything, so I guess we haven't said anything too.
I thought it'd get more inflammatory.
I genuinely thought he was trying to kill me. He's like, I was going to put you on a March Madness bracket. I'm like, you want me to make decisions on Star Wars? That's a terrible idea.
I would rather do this again than the MCU. The MCU took forever.
This is more fun.
This is a lot.
I'll just say less Andor, more pod racing. Rack me, I'm out.